Yeah, so I think
Oh,
we
you
are
did and someone
ready
else did too.
to do the reveal. So off you go, unwrap the puzzle. Let's see what
Unwrap
we'll
the
be puzzling
puzzle!
tonight.
Let's see. Guys, let me know how is the audio. Yeah, it's a bluebird.
I need to see Amelia. So Amelia, were you correct?
Mm.
Yes. She predicted a Paris puzzle. I have no idea how.
Gosh.
I have no idea how she
I
predicted a
can't
Paris
rip
puzzle.
it open.
It is unbelievable how she gets it right every time.
Well, Gaza guessed a bluebird puzzle. So between the two of them, they guessed it. All right. So as usual, you can remove the plastic as well. And then when you're ready to go, place the puzzle box back on the table.
Okay. Oh gosh. This is gonna be rough. This is gonna be rough. But yeah, let me know how is the audio. Is audio better now? Because I see it's adjusting the volume constantly. So I keep putting it louder, but it's
Leah, do you
keeps
have your
adjusting the
puzzle?
volume.
Yep. You can place it back on the table. Heather Langley, I think that camera angle is not so good. Otherwise, we're only going to be seeing the flat pieces. If you can, but you can put your, can you raise your camera up a bit higher, like onto some puzzle boxes, so that's facing down a bit?
People having technical issues. No. Competition is a bit loud. Okay. Let me. Well, it's gonna be okay. Well, I think it's gonna be fine when I'm not talking or like
Sorry,
I'm.
I'll just.
How is the
Yeah, so
fuck is
if you
this
have
so
problems
loud?
of getting a good angle with your laptop or other device, you can put it on a bunch of puzzle boxes and then you have a bit more of the overhead view. Okay. Yeah, that'll have to do for now, Heather, but
How about
just
now?
think of something else for next time. All right, let's do a countdown
Okay,
in
we're going.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
And off we go.
How? Why is the box so big?
It seems like a pretty tricky image. Like, I think it's deceiving in a sense because, like, the bottom seems pretty busy, but then the buildings might be a challenge to actually complete it.
Oh no!
Yes.
Disaster!
Exactly. I
Okay,
would have thought
go
I would
away,
go
go
pretty
away.
fast with this one.
Disaster!
Actually did this
Disaster! I
puzzle just
haven't puzzled in
before
like a
dinner.
week or more.
And you're correct. There's a lot going on. So for people who like busy puzzles, I would say like the first half is enjoyable. And then you kind of get lost in buildings, windows, similar colors. But yeah, so a typical scene from Paris. Actually, if the style of image looks kind of similar, it's actually from the same artist as the Clementoni puzzle, Lake Como from Saturday. That wasn't intentional. It just happens to be that two puzzles in a row are from the same artist. So this is from David McLean, who does the style of image. And yeah, typical Parisian cafe chairs, bicycles, and yeah.
What time did you have when you completed it?
1 hour and 6 minutes.
Gosh, it's so
I
strange.
thought I'd be closer to an hour, but then I just got, I got a bit, everything slowed down with buildings.
Yeah, because they are pretty similar, especially like on the right side, the ones that are more just from the side and not from the front. So not the one that has the cafe underneath it with the big red parasols. And there's also a pretty big chunk of sky. So if someone likes gradients, there's something for them as well.
Oh yes, exactly. Yeah, there's also a gradient sky, which is quite nice.
This red.
All right, yeah. So Bluebird, for those who don't know, it's a French brand. They also produce Graphica and which is more kind of like artwork, like paintings. So famous paintings as puzzles. They also produce pieces and pieces.
I actually have a pretty big collection of the Bluebird puzzle art. puzzles because I enjoy those pretty much. So like there was
I'm trying
one
to
point
sort
where I
some
got I
things
think
out
at least
quickly,
6 of them,
if I
like
can,
all 1,000-piece
as
artworks,
I'm
which
doing
is
it.
like my casual puzzling puzzles go-to things. But from what I know, they also produce a lot of them in Turkey, and the pieces look pretty different to the ones that are produced in France.
Yeah, the ones produced in France all have the symbol
I
on
think I'll
there,
start with
or
the
rather
sky.
like that.
Yes, and
Exactly
there's
with the
somehow
flag.
a difference. I don't exactly
I'll
know,
see
but
if I can do
for
like
example,
the
whenever
edge
I'm in Hungary, there it's
for the
more common to
sky,
have the bluebird puzzles that are
or edge
produced
in
in
general.
Turkey, and I think that's the case for pretty much in the entire Eastern Europe. And
Think so.
those are a little bit different, either in quality or also in shape. I don't exactly know.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, what I notice is that when there's different factories that from the same brand, that the quality does change a bit. All right, so today I'm going to start with the letter K in the middle of the alphabet. So we have Kaf from the UK. We have Kati from Germany.
Oh,
Katrina from Norway. Kirsten G from Germany.
not too
Kirsten K
bad,
from
not too
Germany, and Kirsty
Flip.
from Finland.
And around about the 3-minute mark, I usually like checking of like how people progress with flipping, because like that's one thing that I have been trying to focus on very much, to like get that quicker, because I'm always like, yeah, I can like pretty
I just hope
comfortably
I won't have the same
finish flipping in
experience
like
as
4
other
minutes or
puzzles I've
something,
had from
and
this
that's
brand,
not going to make a
where
big difference if I
the
like shrink it down to
wasn't super
2
amazing,
3
the
minutes or
cut.
not, but
Let's
it
just say
actually makes
that.
like 1 minute difference. And it's always interesting to see of like how people progress. Like here we can see that Kati is already selecting a bit. And yes, there are some others who seemingly only flip at the moment and maybe sort the edges from what I can see.
Yeah, I like how Kirsty is just going straight into the sunset. Before she's also sorted out a lot of the reds. So you do have like what do you call, not the umbrellas, but the shades that hang over. Somebody give me the word for that in English.
Isn't it an awning?
Awning might be it. Yes, the red awnings. It says like, and there's some words on there. It says Café Tour Eiffel à Paris restaurant. Yeah, so that's one big section of red that you'll see people building out on the left side, and on the right hand side there's also the strip of like a building with 2 or 3 like 2 sets of windows going down. So that's also something that jumps out. There's also these red and white stripes of the awnings on the buildings on the other side. Yeah, so I forgot to mention the name of this puzzle. It's called Paris Rendezvous.
There's really a little bit of everything for everyone in this puzzle. I even see a dog now.
Yeah. It's just crammed full of details.
Yes.
Oh, and a lot of flowers. There's like both hanging flowers everywhere. So there's hanging flowers on the building. There's flowers hanging on the restaurant. So above the restaurants, there's pot plants of flowers on the street, at the street level, and also in front of the tables. And then there's a lot of like green ivy just like growing around the buildings.
It seems like a pretty good way to like go about this puzzle, to like sort exactly those out. Like that red is like stands out very, very strongly. Also these green plants, as you were saying, like these different awnings and the sky. And then basically fill in the rest is how I would go about this.
Oh, come on, you're there. I know you're there.
So we also have Laura from Denmark, Leah from Denmark, Lane from Denmark, Linka from Slovakia, and Letizia from Switzerland. Yeah, so Linka had a really amazing weekend. She participated in the largest tournament of Portugal. So not the Portugal National Championships, but it's organized by puzzles.pt, which is the largest, so the large puzzle store there. They use Educa, puzzles, and she came first in individuals and also was on the podium for teams and pairs as well.
That is a pretty amazing result.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's going for the border. She's done quite a good sort, and now you can see she's setting up her frame.
Together, you know you understand.
Letizia is making great progress with the gradient sky, and that also, as you're kind of like looking at the sky, there's also, of course, the Eiffel Tower.
That might also
the
be
sky.
That might also be like a good way to go as well. Like the Eiffel Tower probably stands out as well. I'm not entirely sure. I would probably not notice it.
So we have recent memories of Kati doing a Paris puzzle when she got the amazing record at the Worlds in 26 minutes for Paris postcard. But this one is a bit more trickier and not one that I think she has trained on. But yeah, I'm sure she's got the Eiffel Tower done. Yeah, how do you say it? By a heart, or she could probably do it with her eyes closed.
Probably, yes. She is making pretty good progress with the sky and part of the tower, as far as I can see.
Red things. So there is a few things. There's a few red things. The building on the side.
I see many people doing the sky first. It probably jumps out the most.
Bits, I think, are the building.
I can see big chunks of sky everywhere.
This blue stuff. A lot of the blue stuff. Or this red things here.
So we have Lena from Norway, Lynn from Belgium, Marcia from the Netherlands, Madara from Latvia, Maita from Belgium, and Mandy from the Netherlands. Now, Marcia has competed twice in the Euro Jigsaw Jam, and both times she has come first. So she has a good track record, a hard one to maintain. But she's doing a great job there. Already got the Eiffel Tower done with the sky behind it. And just want to mention that Madara will be our guest interview later today. So after the top 3 interviews, she's from Latvia, but she lives in Spain. She has a YouTube channel, also streams on Twitch and produces puzzle content. Was also at the Worlds. So we'll be chatting to her later.
And if I remember correctly, they recently had a competition in Latvia as well.
Yeah, it looks like things are taking off in Latvia. And
yes,
also in Poland. There's more like local competitions popping up, which is great to see. Yeah, so we can see like Marcia has already done the red and white striped awnings. That's got a nice block, and Mandy has Mandy, Marcia, and Madara actually have all got the sky done and the Eiffel Tower. That looks like that's what jumped out to them. But while Lena and Lynn are pulling out the reds, and yeah, the satisfying thing with the reds is that they're like kind of in lines, so these strips of red.
That can also be deceivingly tricky, I would imagine. I'm not sure how many pieces that might be with the red, but it might be like easy to get lost in them of which way they are.
Well, they do have some lines across them, so there's like the shadow, like the way the cloth kind of overlaps, you do have a bit of shadow, and so you can see the direction of the reds.
Ah, yes, I see, and there's also lines, and the writing might also help
me. How does it?
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on in this puzzle. The more I look at the image, the more details I see.
Yeah, so we also have Maria Ruskanova, but that's actually her daughter Timea participating, 12-year-old. We also have Maria TB, and yeah, Maria TB doesn't have her cat today. for a very good reason, because she's actually at the airport. She told me she would be in between flights. So she's not sure about the connection. She hopes it doesn't drop out, but she's dedicated to do her puzzle competition, even when she's traveling. And so we hope that, the connection stays for her and that she doesn't feel too self-conscious doing speed puzzling in a public place. Then we also have Marie from Norway, Mary from Germany, and Marilyn from Estonia.
It is pretty hardcore to do the competition at an airport. I'm not sure I would be able to do that. It's not necessarily even the crowd or the business around me, but it's basically like the space.
Yeah, so one thing I'm taking note of, well, what I'm noticing, because I've recorded myself recently, and one thing I've noticed is that I make a real mess of the flip, and when I start puzzling, I just have pieces everywhere, and I'm trying to figure out what is the best way to organize my pieces. So we can see Marie has really got her spread all the way to the left and has a very nice, clean assembly area, whereas Mary looks a bit more crowded. And I wonder if that's going to make it a bit difficult for her to build out from. Something I find myself, if I have pieces too close to me, I spend a lot of time kind of spreading and pushing things away, and then sometimes things flip the wrong way up again.
I basically just embrace the chaos. Probably that's also why I like busy puzzles, because I just pick things up wherever, and then it's the pick and place thing that I usually do, or what I feel most comfortable with. And so I don't really mind the pieces all over the place. It's more of a problem if I'm working in a team or in a pair, because I create a mess and that might bother the people around me. This will be a pretty fast puzzle from what I can see. You can already add your estimates of what's going to be the first finish or what's going to be the average time. You can also cheer on whoever you are cheering for tonight in the chat on YouTube.
Yeah, SJ made a very apt comment that David McLean is the type of artist who plagiarizes himself over and over. Yeah, I have a feeling that
this puzzle.
I've done another puzzle from him, because the way that the birds are in the sky, I feel like I've seen that formation of birds in exact the same formation, just in a different puzzle. But yeah, often these digital artists tend to use these similar elements, and then they just kind of shift things up, and so you may get the same scene just with different elements, or you'll see the same elements in different scenes, you could say. I think that's a good way to put it, SJ.
I think it was Tobias Prima who did a compilation of this, but that was with some Ravensburger puzzles of 3D artists who were doing exactly this. I can't remember if that's the same guy.
Yeah, I don't think it was this guy, but yeah, I know what you mean. But his one, the one that he said they had in every image, they used a blue car, and there were certain elements.
The La Dolce Vita poster, for example, it was all kind of Italy-related images, and there was that poster. There were a couple of other elements.
Evening in Pisa was one of them. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then also the WJPC team's final puzzle, the one with Venice, that also had the same poster.
Oh, really?
I think, but that also had a couple of elements that are there as well. So they reuse these, which it saves a bit of time and it gives us more puzzles.
Hard to tell, so hard to tell.
Yes, so we have Mona from Germany, Meata from the Netherlands, Nia from the UK, Nicole from Bulgaria, Nina from Denmark, and Nina from Germany. Oh, I like how Nina has actually connected the Eiffel Tower with the red awnings. That looks really nice. It's almost made like an internal frame for the buildings to fill in.
Yeah, and it also feels like a good point of reference for everything else later, because it kind of gives you like an extra frame that you can work into. So you're going to have like a better idea of where to place what.
Yeah, I like it when you make that connection, and then you're not like shifting the puzzle around anymore when you add pieces, and like okay, that's the correct dimensions of the puzzle.
Yes, exactly. Like as soon as you have something like this, it's easier to orientate yourself, which is also why I still like doing the edge first very often. Because like I personally have the problem very much that like unless I have the frame, I have no idea how big the puzzle is going to be once it's complete. Like even with Ravensburger or like brands
I've lost my momentum
that I complete often, I still don't really know how big the image is going to be in the end. So I like having the frame so that I can place things already. But anything that like gives kind of like a piece of orientation for you, that's helping a lot.
Yeah, but it looks like everyone's going well. Everyone's found some anchor point to start building out from, whether it's the frame or the red or the Eiffel Tower. So at 18 minutes, everyone's got a good start.
It is interesting that the guesses we have received so far is all 40 something. So nobody thinks so far that someone's going to be under 30 minutes on this one. Ah, there's a 38. Just when I said it. So 38.50 is the lowest guess at the moment.
Okay. Jenny Puto, could you just move your puzzle up a bit? Yeah, thank you. Then we see it better. Okay, great. Thanks. So we're at the ends. So we have Nina Schicks on screen at the moment. Let's add some more
stuff.
All right, so we have Rebecca from Austria, Sana from Finland, Simona from Germany, Siobhan from Ireland, and Smaranda from Romania.
How many countries do we have participating tonight? I see somewhere around 20 maybe. Did you count at any point?
I can quickly check.
Left about for 7 minutes without putting any piece, basically.
I can see that the most participants are from Germany.
Yes, so
the most numerous.
21 countries tonight.
Nice. It is very international again.
Yeah, so we can see that the red awnings are kind of like providing this center line in the middle.
Yes. So
Providing
far,
nice
I think everyone is pretty much doing the same progress from the people that we have seen so far. Is seeing the sky, the red awning, parts of the frame is basically what everyone is going with so far.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, like, will people leave like the buildings on the left with the green ivy towards the end, or would they rather have the buildings on the right with all the lots of windows and balconies? Will that one be one they kind of avoid until the last time, or will it be all the busyness of the cafes with the chairs and flowers and reflections and bicycles? Yeah, so
there's even reflections. I haven't even looked into that much. Ah, you mean on the pavement?
Yes, on the pavement there's like all these like evening lights reflecting off the pavement, and yeah, so there's like some patches of yellow and blue. So within the pavement, it's not like a brick street where it's all just like one tone. There are lots of like color patches within it.
Yeah, it seems like it has just stopped raining. Yeah, there's one very optimistic guess from SJ, which is 36.45. So the guesses are going lower and lower. I'm also pretty optimistic of someone finishing under 40 minutes.
So difficult.
So here we have Stephanie K from Germany and also another Stephanie K from Germany.
Well, one of the Stephanie K's was my pairs partner in Leonberg recently. And we're actually going to be participating in 2 pairs competitions in EJJ later on in the next few rounds. So we have managed to organize ourselves so we can participate as a pair, which is going to be pretty exciting.
Are you going to be doing the one with 1,000 pieces?
No, unfortunately not. Like the date is not good. I would have been very, very, very much up for it, but yeah, the date just doesn't check out. So you're going to have to do another one so that we can participate later on.
Yeah, I'm planning another one for February. So December is 1,000 pieces with pairs, then January 1,000 solo, and February 1,000 pairs.
Ooh, pretty cool.
Yeah, I like Stephanie Kapfer's setup. You can see that the phone, I guess, is on the tripod, but we've got a really nice over the view setup, and we can see all of her table space and all of her pieces. So we also have Stein from Belgium, Susanna from Germany, and Tobias from Sweden, and Valerie from Germany.
It's really interesting to see how basically the puzzle is going with the same like order for everyone. Like I really haven't seen like any strategy yet that like stands out as in very different from what everyone else is doing.
I agree. It just seemed, and even I just got some messages from Francisca and Rika, and they said that pretty much everyone's on the same level right now. Like no one's kind of standing out as like zooming off into the distance. Like we're seeing a lot of the same features being built, but I guess, well, I mean, we're at 23 minutes now, so maybe in 5 minutes we'll really see somebody pull out into the lead.
Well, hopefully. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to get everyone on the screen.
We don't want 20 people finishing at the same time, please.
Yeah, we can't keep up with that. There's limits to what we can do.
So Tobias is a big fan of busy puzzles, so he's probably enjoying this. Oh, I see he started on some of the features in the cafe area.
Yes, it looks pretty done. Also, it's like it looks way more organized somehow. Yeah, like yes, there are like individual pieces lying around everywhere. Like he likes to use his space from what I have seen before as well. But otherwise, it seemed like so organized.
Yeah, so on the bottom right-hand corner, there's like this yellowish patch that's like the cafe windows. You've got like this brown wooden frames, and there's like the golden glow of the cafe restaurant kind of shining into the street. Also on the opposite side with the restaurant with the red awnings, there's also like 3 big windows with this orangey glow emanating from there.
Yeah, I also kind of have a feeling that once everyone is done with these very fixed areas, like the awning, the sky, and the frame, I think that's when we're going to see like differences in who picks what to do next. Because from here on, it's really like not that big chunks anymore, if you know what I mean. So like everyone might pick something different depending on what they are comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, we saw previously that Stephanie Kapfer had like a pile of greens just off to the side. So
yes.
Either she's planning to attack those next, or she's like, I just want them out of the way and I'll deal with it later.
I would guess the second. It seems pretty far away.
So now we can see some people starting on the vegetation, on the greens. So we have Verena from Austria, Verena B from Austria, and Verena K from Austria. So Verena K is working on the greens on the balcony, as is Veronica from Slovakia. Then we see Vesna. So Vesna from Finland, she's also live streaming at the moment. You can check out Puzzling Happiness YouTube channel if you want to get a closer look at hers and hear what Jan is having to say. And we also have Vicky from Hungary, who's looking pretty good. Looks quite similar to how Tobias
maybe even a bit more progress, but she doesn't have the entire frame. I do have to shout out for Vicky because like the one competitor from Hungary. So like go Vicky.
Yeah, and Tekla was watching before. Tekla is Vicky's peers partner.
Yes, exactly. And I'm actually very excited because Tekla's going to come to Leonberg as well. We're going to be, she's going to compete in individual as well, and then in pairs with me. And we're also going to have a complete Hungarian team there. Vicky's not traveling this time, but it's going to be 2 different people from Hungary that we have puzzled with before together as well. So that's going to be very exciting.
Oh yeah, that'd be really great. And I have a whole Hungarian team participating.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So we finished the end of the alphabet. We're now jumping up to the A's. So we have Yasmin from Germany, Aaron from the UK, Adam from Slovakia, Ina Lena from Finland, and Andrea from USA.
There's not that many green pieces, actually.
Yeah, it looks like, oh yeah. So Andrea's done a really nice section of looks like she's completed the bottom section of under the storefronts. And now she's, yeah, gonna tackle the top left buildings.
My live stream froze a little bit, so I'm going to have to wait a little.
Okay, so Andrea, yeah.
I can
Very
see
solid there.
I can see in the chat that someone's saying that a sub 40 is possible, depends on how bad the buildings are.
Well, lots of creamy colored buildings and lots of blue windows and black balconies, and they just repeat at different angles.
And those are also the kind of things that are very, at least I find them very difficult to shape sort in general. Like, because of the lines, somehow the shape of the piece doesn't get, like, it's harder to recognize of what goes where. At least that's something that I always struggle with.
Yeah, I tried to do most of it by sight based on the lines and the directions that I could see, but I did at the very end, I did have to shape sort because everything just looked too similar.
I always admire people who can shape sort. Like that's something I can't do. Or if someone does it, for example, if I'm doing something in a team or pairs and someone shape sorts, I just mess it up. So it's not the best thing for me.
Okay, so we have Annelies from Belgium, Anami from Switzerland, Arcadius from Poland, Aijalin from Argentina, and Bibi from Denmark. So 30, we just crossed 30 minutes. So is someone going to finish in the next 6 minutes? Let's find out. I'm just going to keep moving. I hear some
yeah, the lowest guess was 36:45. So there's still 6 minutes and 45 seconds. One question is, what time of the day is it for Andrea?
Yeah, is she in Seattle? Can't remember. That's probably about 6 or more hours behind us. So
I think it might be 8. Isn't New York around 6?
In any case, still daytime.
It's definitely still early in the day, yes. She's making amazing progress.
Oh yeah, she's tackling those buildings and the ivy. All right, we also have Birgit from Germany, Catherine from USA. Yeah, so Catherine's living in Germany, but I think she's looking forward to her Thanksgiving dinner. So we have Charlene from Switzerland, Chiara from Italy, and Claudia from Germany.
Chiara is also doing very nice progress there.
Yeah, Chiara's looking nice, and Chiara has a white background. So maybe she's at a different table today. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's traveling, not at her normal kitchen table. I always go way over with predictions. I always think, oh, this will be like 40 minutes or so, and then somebody goes and completely blasts that away by 5 minutes.
I'm always very, very optimistic. I trust in people being fast.
I mean, at the Worlds, I was sure someone would be under 30 minutes for Paris postcard, but even though I knew it was possible, I don't know. I always think, I don't know, but does it put more pressure on people to say that some really fast times?
Yeah.
But then they always beat my expectations. Maybe I should always have low expectations, and then I'm always surprised and always astonished at how phenomenal everyone is.
Yeah, that is a good way to go around it as well. Yeah, it somehow feels like people are still very much neck to neck on this one.
It looks very even at this point.
I'm missing some edges.
So I'll keep Chiara on the screen, and okay, so we have Danique from the Netherlands, Dietmar from Germany, Amelia from Finland.
Them from
Amelia's
one
on the left side.
Put
Okay.
stuff in.
So we might have a leader.
Actually,
so she's got
what I'm doing right
the middle building and the right, and the buildings on the right side to finish.
Wow, Amelia is really blazing through this one.
I mean, this has to be.
I wonder if it helps having done a bunch of Paris puzzles before. I mean, they all have the Eiffel Tower, but is there, I don't know, maybe repeating buildings or different elements repeat after a time?
Well, if I think about it, like most of the Paris puzzles, except for the postcard, like they have the same kinds of buildings that are like very similar on every image. Like there's this very typical architecture in Paris, which like you probably get to know at one point, but just knowing, I don't know. I'm not sure if that helps or not. It probably does.
So we also have Emma from Sweden and Emma from Ireland. So Emma J from Sweden and Emma Q from Ireland.
Emma Q also looks like she has progressed a lot, but like the green table is a little bit tricky because I'm not sure if she's done with the green sections of the puzzle already or not. I can't really tell from the image.
Then we have Felis Lund, that's Jane from Denmark, and Hannah from the UK. Okay, but it looks like Amelia is going to finish in a few minutes. So I just want to check in with the others who were standing out earlier in the piece. Okay, so still a bit patchy with Tobias and Vicky, a lot more holes.
Vicky's also doing very well, I see now.
But Marcia also is going to be doing the buildings on the right, as is Andrea.
They still seem very, very close together. It looks like Amelia is very far ahead compared to everyone else, but apart from her, like it's pretty much the same progress.
Okay, so I've also put, so just side by side, we've got Emilia, Martia, Andrea, Lenka, and Inga.
Lenka also doesn't have that much. I would actually kind of say that Emilia and Lenka at the moment have the same amount of pieces left, from how much I can tell, but like Emilia's is in one chunk and Lenka's is a little bit more in like all over the place. There's a question about what about Kati?
Yeah, it's a good question. Can Emilia get back-to-back solo wins? That would be really exciting. Well, then her predictions would have paid off, giving her a head start to consider the image. Okay, so it looks like she's got about 20 to 30 pieces left. Andrea, about 40 pieces. Martia, similar. Lenka, probably about 50 pieces.
Vicky also seems to be doing pretty well at the moment.
Yes, what about Kati? Let's see what she is up to.
We might just barely slip out from the under 40-minute border or limit. I don't want to say limit, but I can't find a better word at the moment.
This is incorrect.
Okay, so it looks like top three at the moment is Amelia, Marcia, and Andrea. Closely followed by Lenka, Chiara. So Toby is also working on the buildings. Yeah, so you can see on Chiara's, above that line of the ivy, then there's also this gap above there. And because some of the pieces are the same color as the pieces on the other side.
Ah, tricky.
Yeah, so you have these kind of darker colored windows, like kind of bluish tone window frames, and then the beige building, but also on the other side. So you can see also on Tobias, you have some gaps over there and on the other side. Okay. All right, but it looks like it's Amelia's day.
She has maybe 10, 12 pieces left. I can see that that's the chaotic part. It's like really hard to tell which piece goes where.
Yeah, so at that point, so at about 20 pieces left of the buildings, I actually started to shape sort. It got a bit much for me. So Amelia's fingers are just dancing over the puzzle back and forth.
And it's pretty fun to see actually how she like lifts her hands every time she can't really find what is happening. But it's so very close.
She's trying one piece, and if it doesn't fit, then quickly back and forth. But
Yeah,
it's going to
five
be a
pieces
good.
left.
There's nobody close behind Amelia.
There is still a bit of time. 2 pieces left. And done.
Done.
Congratulations.
Wow, amazing, Amelia. very very impressive performance and significant lead. So no one's gonna come up to you behind on the close by seconds. Others are still a few minutes away, but we have Martia, Andrea, and Lenka doing really well. Kiara also very close, as is
Nina's also doing very well.
So that was about 41 minutes. Yeah, so really good job from Amelia. 2 wins in a row.
Is that a first?
Well, we have Kristen has won multiple times. Inga has won a couple of times. But perhaps not 2 in a row. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and check the stats. Check the results, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations are coming in. And second place is up for grabs.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so Emma Q also only has the buildings on the right to do, as is Kiara. But Lenka has more of the sections filled out, as is Andrea. But it looks like Andrea's in contention for second, so less than 20 pieces. So yeah, so the winning time was 41 minutes. So yeah, I imagined around 40 because this one took me about 10 minutes longer than I expected or would have hoped for. That's something that when I was in Valladolid, I remember walking through the streets and looking up at the buildings and going, oh yeah, these lovely buildings. Oh, that would make a nice puzzle. And then I was like, no, they wouldn't because all the balconies were repeating.
Well, it depends on whether it's a speed puzzle or just a puzzle.
Exactly, yeah. I'm sure it can be quite relaxing to be lining up these rows of windows and rows of balconies.
Lenka is pulling in very close at the moment, from what I can see.
Oh gosh.
It might be second place.
Okay, so Tobias is also scooping in the pieces closer to him, getting in really close there, filling in those gaps. It looks very similar in terms of number of pieces between Tobias and Nina and Kiara.
Yeah, I see in the chat that Tekla's guess was the closest one. She guessed 41.25. She might have actually been very close. It's hard to tell how many pieces Matje still has left because of the background. Like the wood color doesn't help with like telling how many she has still. It kind of blends in together.
And Andrea
is done.
So second place, about 3 minutes later, 3 or 4 minutes later. Andrea, well done.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so according to the timestamp here, which only shows minutes, it doesn't show seconds, there was a 4-minute gap.
Yes.
So who else? Okay, so now it looks like, Marcia. Well done, Marcia, third place.
Congratulations.
Congrats. All right, so we now be having I'm going to have another wave of people. We can see Tobias is really close, but Lenka's going to be similar, and Inga has just finished. Well done. We can see that there's another puzzle next to her. That's Jim Sepp, who's doing I believe this is his first solo competition. Is that correct? I know he's done pairs before. So First was Amelia, then Andrea, third Inga, fourth Marcia. Okay, now I think it's gonna speed up.
Yes, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a top 10 very soon.
Okay, sorry, I may have said something wrong. First was Emilia, second Andrea, third Inga, fourth Marcia.
And that must have been just seconds apart. I couldn't exactly see. Kiara is also pulling in close from what I can see. It is very interesting that like everyone pretty much started out with the same level. I mean, with like the sky, the awning, the frame, and then all of a sudden, like our top 4 or 5 has all like suddenly just like whooshed apart from everyone else. And in the meantime, we have had Lenka and Tobias finish. Congratulations.
So on screen we have Nina, Shix, Vicky, and Kiara. Emma Q also in the next pack of finishes.
Kathy also only has like the buildings on the side left. And a couple of pieces on the other building as well.
Running out non-building stuff, so we really need to start tackling.
Yes, Marty and Inge were basically almost the same time.
Yeah, so you can see on Kiara's that she's there's some blue windows that little blocks that they're about like 2 or 3 pieces each, and she's kind of lining them up where they go. Those ones were kind of easy to find because they had the windows were bigger than the others, and they had some different shadings, so you could kind of position them where they go. And then the rest, they're all like really, yeah, all the rest are too similar.
Yes.
Baited.
Yeah, you can also see that on the others too. They've got the big windows. They've got their positions, and then it's all those the beigey wall all around it that needs to be filled in.
Yes.
Okay, so right now we have, oh, Nina Shix just a handful of pieces away. Emma Q, less than 10 pieces. Kiara, just around the corner. Well done, Nina.
Well done. Congratulations. Yeah, people are putting in.
So the time is 15 minutes. Yeah, it's interesting how some puzzles are different. I mean, you can sometimes at 50 minutes sort of had 15 finishes by now.
Yeah, that's where you can see that this is like a deceivingly tricky puzzle. At first it like at first view it seems like it would be a quick one, but yeah. We have 7, 8 people done so far. Congratulations, Emma.
Yeah, well done, Emma.
Yeah, so at 50 we have 8 finishers.
So today we have 80 participants. And Kiara, very nice.
Congratulations. The last 2 places of the top 10 are still up for grabs. My live stream is again freezing a little bit. That's why I'm also being a little bit quiet, because I can't really follow what is happening. I need to look at the...
Is that the same for other people? Is the live stream a bit slow today?
I think it's just my internet. It just does it sometimes on an unlucky day. Vicky is very close. And done.
Vicky,
congratulations. There. So then we have our top 10.
I did have her on screen. Okay.
Yeah, you did. So our top 10 is done, right? If I see correctly. So it was Emilia, then Andrea, Inga, Matje, Lenka, Tobias, Nina, Emma, Chiara, and Vicky.
Laura Henriksen, your camera doesn't seem to be working. Would you please check that? Laura Henriksen. So just to recap, yeah, so we have top 10 done, and yeah, we still have more than an hour to go. We have a 2-hour time limit. Those who want training for our nationals or the world championships should aim for 90 minutes. But we always have new people participating, so we want as many people to finish as possible. And
yeah, that's why the 2-hour time limit is actually nice, because even those who are like maybe new into speed puzzling can like have a sense of success finishing in time.
And I think it's always a bit frustrating if like in 90 minutes it stops and then you have to count your pieces. Whereas it's like, oh, I was so close. If I just had a few more minutes, you know, you could at least finish the puzzle.
Oh yes.
And then just take the time. All right, well done, Enemy.
Congratulations.
And Veronica, yes, Slovakia is strong today. So once again, the sisters are participating, Lenka and Veronica. So Lenka was in 5th place and Veronica in 12th. Well done.
Yeah, now we see people pulling into the finish.
I can't see anything.
Yes, Freya is saying she also loves the 2-hour time limit. We're glad.
Emilia, would you like to chat with us?
Because we would love to chat with you.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect.
Hello. So, how did you guess Paris?
Well, just the basic, try to exclude as many options as possible after we get like the brand correctly, you know. I have helpers with you know, my members. We have a person who actually assisting today, who actually weights the puzzles also for me, because I don't have a kitchen weigh, like a scale. So we got every tiny little detail of the puzzles. But yeah, I didn't know exactly what puzzle. I just had an idea that probably something related to Paris. So I obviously did this one today. It's not too similar, but I think I was actually listening this time. You mentioned that there is like a lot of similar details in all of these puzzles, which is the red cafeteria or whatever it is. And there's always the flags, and also in this one you can see those stripy things going on. So
Oh yeah, that also looks similar. Is that from the same artist?
Or is that a photo? I can't really see
question,
it from there.
actually. Let me see. Yeah, it is.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is pretty true though that like Paris has like a very characteristic look in general as well, like the architecture itself, the buildings, those color schemes. I think like that is pretty recognizable. But do you think that it actually helps like doing like whatever Paris puzzle to like complete this one?
Yes and no, maybe not for everybody. I think I just do it to have like an idea, like the right feeling to it. And also, let's say if I would do this and then notice that I'm completely suck with the stripy things or a specific type of building, that maybe I'm a little bit more aware of it before jumping into to another similar puzzle. But obviously in the end it's well, not gambling. Obviously, it's a little bit more educated guess. But for example, for the last time we had the pairs, so my guess was actually one of the color boom. What is it called? Color boom puzzles, and we got this nice annoying scenery that Clementoni very rarely, I would say, have. They have more like even more traditional like nature sceneries. So there I was once again absolutely wrong, but we still came sixth, so I don't think it's really affecting that much. Depends.
Yeah, I was wondering, like when you're puzzling, like say for example, an image of Paris or somewhere that you have traveled to. I mean, have you traveled to Paris before?
Sorry, I have to take the laptop a bit closer because I cannot hear anything. Can you repeat that?
When you are doing a puzzle of Paris or somewhere else where you may have traveled to, are you focused solely on the image, or do you also like think of your travels where you were there or visiting the city or things like that? Or do you stay focused?
No, I stay focused.
Yeah, I would kind of imagine that like thinking about like traveling there or like experiences could be distracting, I would guess.
Sounds like it to me, but obviously depends on a person.
And then how did you enjoy the puzzle in general? Like, is it something that is up your alley or does it matter anymore for you?
Well, it always matters. Obviously, it's against your own potential, but I think everything else was pretty easy except the buildings. Um, I'm feeling bad for people who don't have enough light because I feel like it would be really hard to see the tiny details. Well, not maybe not see, but maybe like notice that they have a little bit difference. For example, the building on the left and on the right. But what I've been actually, I had a long break that I didn't participate in any Euro Jigsaw Jams. But before that, I really sucked because these are usually at the nighttime. It's always so dark, and I have literally never until this end of this year, I've never really practiced without like natural light. So I really struggle with artificial light. I've never used this ring light before, except now in the previous solo competition. But I've kind of practiced that, and now I feel like I'm more adjusted to also the artificial light, so it doesn't bother me that much, and it's actually much more helpful to have at least some light rather than just the darkness.
So do you have a dedicated light? Do I understand correctly?
No, I just I can show. So I have this like ring light.
Oh yeah,
Bicycles.
And then I use this. I didn't used to use either one of those. So it was just really dark because I'm not just used to the artificial light and the glare, but I think it took me like a couple weeks, and now I'm like, I don't even really pay attention what kind of light it is. So that has really, really helped me.
Yeah, I can imagine, because like for us as well, my husband recently bought a couple of studio lights for a different reason, but I was actually considering that it might be a good idea to like experiment with it, because especially those lights have like different settings of like whether it's cold or warm, and you know the difference, and of like whether that might actually help or not, because like where I am, I rarely get to like puzzle with natural light. I don't think I have actually done it more than a couple of times because I never puzzle during the day. And yeah, that might actually make a big difference.
Yeah, I was at I think it was in Norwegian nationals like last summer, and that's where I realized how bad I am with artificial light, because it was such a nice venue, but it was like underground, like one of those big sports places underground. And even though the light was very even and everything, but it just wasn't the natural light that I'm used to. So that's where I kind of like realized that, okay, this is not gonna go. But then I knew that in the world, it doesn't matter because there is the natural light that goes through the roof. So I didn't start practicing for it.
Oh yeah.
But now after the worlds, I started to focus on this artificial light thing. So yeah.
And then do I remember correctly that during the Finnish competition with the horrible panda puzzle, you also had some issues with the light, of like the daylight coming in wrong?
Oh, there was windows in the roof.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, you understand when it comes directly from the midday light comes from the roof and like in a spotty way.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you can't see the pieces at all.
Yeah, that was like that's like very different scenario. It's even annoying if it comes from the window next to you. But when it comes from the roof, that was like it wasn't even the glare. It was like it literally hit my eyes, so I can like see nothing.
Oh no, oh no. And if I remember correctly, did they have to move your table there?
Oh yes, they did. So they were moving two people for carrying my table while I was still puzzling, because obviously the competition was going on. And then there was the issue that my chair was a bit broken. So one of the legs was broken. It was fixed before the competition started, but obviously when they moved it, it started going this way again. And then they forgot my chair, which I was about to sit. You know what happens then. So yeah, it was a lot of things going on over there, but it back then I wasn't so happy, but now it's just a funny memory at this point.
Yeah, it probably gets more beautiful as time passes.
Yes, yes.
Like, you go back and then
better next year.
Like,
I have high expectations of table and lights.
Do you already have plans of like what live competitions you're going to next?
Well, there isn't too many in Finland, which is kind of sad. So you either have to travel somewhere, or I guess the next one. Well, I'm planning to go probably to Swedish nationals if I haven't sent them any emails. So maybe I'm over-promising here because I have to ask if I can come since I'm not Swedish. But that's where I was planning to go. Maybe also to the Norwegian nationals if they are fine with it as well. I really liked those last year, and I think they're good preparation because they're also before the Finnish nationals. So that's the plan.
Yeah. And do you prefer live or online competitions?
I think live competitions are more, not in a bad way, but more real in a way. I think the online competitions are maybe a bit more for the practice, kind of. So you test out something and then you have online competition, you test out what things you have learned and kind of like have those little steps on the way for a bigger competition that would be live. And obviously a lot of online competitions have published puzzles and that kind of stuff. So I think it's a bit different in a way.
It also feels like with an online competition you can like get comfortable in a sense, because you're puzzling in your own setup, and then with a live competition, as you were saying with the Finnish one, like everything can go wrong and you have to do stuff differently, which might also make it more difficult.
Yeah, I mean I understand that it's like it happens a lot that a lot of people get like also too comfortable, that it's like affecting their performance in a way that it's hard to get everything out of you when you're just literally alone at home, and it's competition where the ranking in the end, I mean, after 7 months nobody remembers who was in that specific competition the first. So yeah, it's a bit different. That's also something you can of course try to practice. Like I've been listening to this like angry music before and kind of like doing this. I did also today like a very small like 200-piece puzzle in like 12 minutes or something. So you have to really get into the mode if you want to really take your full potential into a online competition. But it's really hard. It's really hard if you're just alone at home.
Yeah, it gets pretty hard. In the meantime, I can see that Michelle is putting up the time. So 42 minutes was Amelia, and then 46 was Andrea, 47 Inge and Marcia, with like seconds apart, and then 48 Lenka and Tobias. So they were pretty close to each other. And are you satisfied with your time?
Yes, very much, of course. I feel like I got really stuck this year with the 50 minutes, a little bit under, and now I'm like trying to aim to the kind of like 40. Well, maybe not 40 and under 2 times soon, but yeah, I feel like I'm having like a breakthrough also because I had a little bit of break after the Worlds. Technically, I should be still on off season and build my base, but I'm a little bit too competitive for that.
Oh yeah, I can identify with that.
But yeah, I've been doing a lot of puzzles lately, like 40, some even under. I really also, I kind of love and hate. There's this, what is it called? Speed Puzzle Pals that do those speed runs every week. I kind of hate it, but I feel like I also have to participate in it, especially, for example, this week I saw that they had a puzzle that I know that I had like done. I don't remember when, it was a long time ago, but I did it in like 36 minutes. So now I'm of course I'm gonna participate. Like if I do it like 5 times, I'm pretty sure I can get it.
Oh yeah.
Under
you're going to have to elaborate though. What do you hate about it?
Sorry,
like,
can I just interrupt very quickly? Fearless Lund, Jane Lund, your camera is off. Could you please check that, Jane Lund? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Amelia.
Yes, no worries. So I just I don't know. I think doing the same puzzle after again and again and again is just not for me. I don't really enjoy it that much. I think it's because I did that one puzzle before all these speedrun competitions were in Europe. That one puzzle that I did 11 times.
Oh yeah. Was that to be under 30 minutes or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I did get it in the end, but it took like I started in the morning. I don't remember how many times I did it on the first day, maybe 8, 9 times. And I couldn't get it under the 30, and it was like just so annoying. But the last attempt on that day, like I was literally like passing out. Even at that point, I could do it in 35 minutes. It was too long. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And then I woke up in the next morning because I was filming for YouTube. So I was like, I don't have any other video idea, and I promised to publish something today, so I have to do it. Then I give it another try, and it's still not under 30.
Oh yeah.
So it was like I finally, yes, I got it, but at that point I was like, I don't want to see this puzzle ever again.
Yeah, I can completely understand that. Like I participated in the one where we did the postcard, the London postcard now.
Yeah.
And like I think I did the puzzle about 5 times maybe. By that time I got to like 36, and I'm actually pretty happy with it because like at least I know that I physically can do a 30 something, but I couldn't be bothered to repeat anymore because I was just bored with the puzzle at one point. So like I get that it just gets too much at one point and you don't want to see the puzzle anymore. But I think it is good to maybe try at least one puzzle to like as much repeat multiple times even after each other, so that like you experience that you can do something quick.
Yeah, there is a lot of points that, first of all, to prove yourself that it's physically possible, then also kind of like learn from your mistakes. Sometimes there's a situation where you do second time slower. That actually happens a lot of people, for me originally as well. So there's a lot of reasons to actually do at least a couple times in your life a puzzle, multiple attempts. But I remember actually the postcard thing. I was kind of like, I was going for it. I think I did it like 3 times or something, and I got like 34 minutes or something. And then I saw Victor posting that he did it in 22 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. during the ceremony.
That's not very big motivation.
I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
done with this.
But seeing that you have such a good, like, huge collection behind you, I'm actually interested in, like, how many, like, do you repeat puzzles at some intervals at least? Or, like, do you have, like, a rotation of how you do the puzzles that you have? Or do you always just do new stuff? Like,
Well,
how do you do it?
Well, currently I'm doing a lot of like puzzles that I haven't done, like some of my first puzzles in the collection, much like bigger puzzles that I haven't done for a long time. Kind of like going through them. And then obviously before big competitions like nationals or something, then I usually redo all the Ravensburger 500 piece
Damn it.
puzzles, especially the ones on my prediction list. But
Let's see
yeah,
how many people
I don't
beat
know.
me.
Now I just like to do whatever I kind of
Oh gosh.
feel like doing, which is a lot of options here. But yeah, mainly bigger puzzles right now, and challenge puzzles.
Oh, nice,
And I
Emilia
just
one.
bought some Tuve Jansson puzzles, and yeah, and I'm pretty excited for the Christmas calendars as well.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
it's coming very soon.